Well, good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to our general board meeting for Brooklyn Community Board 9 for April 2026. Uh, we have 2 more months left. I want to thank all the members of the board, for the community members and the resident members on the committees for all the hard work. We are nearing the end of our year, so there's still a lot of work to do, a lot of projects that are in flight that we want to kind of make sure we're progressing, and we want to make sure that we finish up the year strong as well. So I want to just allow the members of the executive office to introduce themselves very quickly.
Good night. My name is Linda Watson Lord. I am the secretary.
Hey, I'm Ethan Norville, the first vice chair.
Felice Robertson, the second vice chair.
Cat B, member at large.
All right. Okay, so item number 2 will be, well, actually, before I do that, part of item 1 would be to announce the rules of order for the meeting. The rules of order are posted on the committee board website, and they're also included as part of the package. The only thing we're asking is for everyone to be respectful of the House, understanding that in our conversations and dialogue, we don't always agree, but we want to be respectful in that disagreement as well. Additionally, we ask that everyone please adhere to the time frames. Public commentary is for 3. If you are signed up, you have up to 3 minutes. Please make sure you are on time with that. If you are speaking on any of the topics, I would remind the board members to please keep all comments concise, so that way we can make sure we're able to get out here, accomplish the agenda, and get out of here in a timely fashion as well. All right, so we are now going to go to item number 2, street co-naming request for Union Street, intersection of Albany and Kingston, between Albany and Kingston Avenues, to Edith Mott Young Street. At this time, I would ask the chair of the Transportation Committee to speak on the recommendation.
Thank you. So the committee heard this recommendation in our April meeting, and we recommended the. Can you hear me? Okay. I was saying the committee heard this application in our April meeting and ultimately recommends that the board approve the application. I would normally go over a bit of a recap of what was in the request, but since the applicants are here, I want to extend to them a chance to, present their co-naming request once again.
All right, do we have a representative for the organization, the applicant?
Good evening, Chair Craig Baptiste, District Manager Dante Arline, Assistant Manager Mia Hilton, Chair of the Transportation Committee, Ethan Norville, the entire Community Board 9, and residents of Brooklyn County. Thank you for allowing me to present the proposal for the co-naming of Union Street between Albany Avenue and Kingston Avenue. My name is Leah Cooper, and I am the chair of the Heritage and Archives Committee of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the Brooklyn Alumni Chapter. Today I have with me my co-chair, Rita Brackeen, the entire Heritage and Archives Committee, my president, Kenya Johnson, my immediate past president, Shauna Nate Miles, my past president, Eleanor Rollins, was a former council member, and our former council member and New York State Assemblywoman, Annette Robinson, who would like to say a few words.
Good evening. Thank you, Sora. Good evening, all. Good evening to the chairperson, to the members of the executive board, members, elected officials if they are present, and community. I am Dr. Annette Marie Robinson, former member of the New York City Council and retired member of the New York State Assembly, and proud member of Brooklyn Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. We are present to ask your consideration to co-name Union Street with my, I'm sorry, Union Street to Edith Mott Young, one of our founders. She lived on that block with her family from Howard University campus, along with others, founded the sorority in 1913. with intentional purpose to provide services. With intentional to provide services and promote academic excellence and assistance to those in need. Currently, the Brooklyn Alumni Chapter annually provides scholarship, educational, cultural, health, and other community-based programs free of charge. Edith Mott Young pioneered these activities during her time in Brooklyn, along with her family. She is worthy of this distinguished recognition. How do we remember those who contribute so much to improve the quality of life in the community? We believe that now is the time so that the children that walk the streets can be told that an extraordinary educator, Edith Mott Young, a founder of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, lived on Union Street between Albany and Kingston Avenue. Thank you.
I forgot to mention that the illustrious women of Brooklyn alumni, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, are also here with us today. Edith Mott Young was born on July 16th in 1891. She received a diploma in 1910. She eventually went to Howard University, where she where she attended the Teachers College from 1910 to 1913. She became one of the 22 founders of Delta Sigma Theta, which is one of the world's largest international sororities. After Howard, she became a teacher, a wife, and a mother. Her children, her son Perry was a Tuskegee Airman. He was a World War I pilot and a commercial airline, the first African-American airline pilot. William was a Tuskegee Airman. He was a flight instructor and an engineer. Farrah was a New York NYU graduate and a music teacher in New York City. And Bernice was a Juilliard graduate, and she represented the U.S. under the Marshall Plan International. Delta Sigma Theta serves the Black community through its 5 programmatic thrusts: economic development, educational development, political awareness and involvement, international awareness and involvement, and physical and mental health. Edith Mott Young moved to Brooklyn in 1944. She saw a need and answered a call with vision and determination. She helped charter the Delta Gamma Sigma chapter on March 14, 1949, which was renamed Brooklyn Alumni in 1957. Approximately 400 women have been initiated in Brooklyn Alumni. We are doing a co-naming to make sure that generations who walk the streets of Brooklyn know who shaped them. We are ready to celebrate and claim our history in visual ways. And now it's my line sister, and today is our Deltaversary. And Enid, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Enid Knight, and I am a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I'm so honored to come here, but I won't go into who Edith Mott Young was, because you heard that already. I want you to know why it's important to the community and why it's important to me, because I live in this community. Well, a street name is more than a sign. It reflects the values, the history, and the legacy of a community. Co-naming this street creates a permanent acknowledgement of a woman whose life represents service, leadership, and commitment to others. It gives residents, especially our young people, a visual reminder that a meaningful impact begins right here in their own neighborhood. I stand in support of this, and I hope you stand in support of donation of this street in honor of Edith Mont Young, because a name on a street is just never a name. It's a memory. It's a legacy. It's direction. This co-naming matters. It tells our children that service lives here, that leadership looks like us. The impact can begin on the very block that they walk down every day. And though we are going to continue the work of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, we're going to continue the work, and at co-naming, that sign is going to actually share with people that we are here and we're here to stay. So with that said, we're just not a community. We're here just to build. We're here just to nurture each other. We're here to sustain together. This is about honoring the past while lighting the path forward, because when you have vision, you have hope. And hope brings unity, growth, and a future we can all believe in. And I respectfully ask for you to consider this, and I give you thanks in advance. Okay, thank you. This concludes our presentation. And just as last few words, is that recognition is not only about the past, but it's about what we choose to value today. So Edith Mont Young's contributions live in the hearts of those that she taught, the community that she served, and the institution of Delta Sigma Theta that she helped. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. So we're going to be considering this application as part in the business session. So you are absolutely welcome to stay. It might be helpful as well if there are any questions that come from the board members regarding the application. But thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you. Okay, we are now going to go to item number 3, which is applications for the New York State Liquor Authority. So the Public Safety Committee met on April 16th, and we considered the following 3 applications. Just for transparency as well, we also did receive notices for 3 other renewals for liquor licenses in the district. Per the SLA, those are typically automatically approved unless there are adverse reports that are reported directly to them. So as a board, we are still making sure that we are identifying or at least discussing those very briefly so we know what's happening. And part of the intent of the board, or the vision of the board, is to make sure that we are acting on applications, making sure that we're empowering the community to report as well if there are adverse actions. We're going back to the 3 applicants that came. These are all new applications coming to the district. So first application we have is ALYR Consulting, located at 641 Rutland Road on the corner of Albany Avenue. This is for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. Do we have the applicant here this evening? If you could come up briefly. Just a very quick presentation in terms of your establishment, what you're looking to do.
Hey, good evening. So I'm a resident of Crown Heights, born and raised. They used to have a restaurant on Empire Boulevard and Rogers. We closed it about a year ago. We converted it to catering. So we were given an opportunity to do a catering hall on the corner of Albany and Rutland. The place has been operating as a hall for already about a year and a half. And so now we're applying for a liquor license, making sure that we work out with the residents, it's soundproof, there's been no issues for the last year and change when they had events there. And so we submitted the application. The board asked us to change the hours to Sunday from 11 a.m. from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., which we agreed to do. And the rest of the hours, Saturday will be closed, Friday will be closed, and then Monday through Thursday would be 3 p.m. to midnight as well.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we will entertain a couple of questions from the public. Ms. Boyd, I do see you. If you could wait, if I could ask the board members to refrain, we'll be able to entertain questions during the business session. All right. Do we have a microphone? We can take a question from Ms. Boyd. And just as a reminder, we have a packed agenda this evening. I would ask you please keep the comments and the questions short and concise. Thank you.
What time are you actually serving alcohol?
6 p.m.
Mostly, what does that mean by mostly? So we just, okay, so we need a definitive. What is it in the application, Fred, please?
The application is included in the package. Hold on, please. If we get that. Bear with me one moment. Yes, it is from 3 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Thursday.
3 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Thursday?
Correct. Close on Fridays and Saturdays, and on Sundays, as the applicant said, and then 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. on. So I'm sorry, to 12 a.m. on Sunday.
Well,
Correct.
from 2 p.m. to
The
12?
motion on the floor, the motion that the Public Safety Committee stipulated to was for a 12 midnight. So that is what we are voting on, stipulation, that application with stipulation for 12 a.m. Because the application came in, our motion will be able to go to the SLA for 12 a.m. on Sunday.
Do you think that 3 p.m. in the afternoon is a little early for alcohol?
Again, this is just for setup. The events usually depends on the booking. Not every day is there going to be a booking. Not every day is there going to be an event. But we did it from 3 p.m. because if people do a reception starting early in the day, like a wedding, so they should be allowed to at least have it from when we set up, which would be around 3 p.m. They do the reception.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, okay, no, we'll make sure. So just as a reminder, to all who are speaking to this afternoon, please make sure you use your auditorium voices and use the microphone so that we. But otherwise, so thank you for coming this evening. We're gonna be considering this during the public session. Thank you. All right, item B on the agenda is Queen of Scots LLC doing business as Fiona's. Establishment is located on 562 Flatbush Avenue, corner of Beacon Place. This application is for a change of operation to include live music. This time, do we have the applicant here?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Adrian. I'm the owner and operating manager of Fiona's on the corner of Flatbush Ave and Beekman. We're looking to amend our liquor license to include, it's specifically for karaoke, really. But we've had like for our anniversary jazz, like live jazz on Sunday afternoons. We'd like to make it sort of the technicality, make it official to be able to do that. Karaoke be once a month, and jazz probably once a month or less, but jazz certainly in the afternoon. When we were at the public safety meeting a couple weeks ago, the request was made to keep the windows closed, certainly during karaoke. I have no problem with that. And that's basically it. Each of them would be once a month.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we can take a couple of questions from the public. Okay, Ms. Boyd, I see you. Questions? Okay. Any other questions? All right, we're going to close on those two. Please give the microphone to Ms. Boyd.
Is that once a month in the contract?
Yes, that's what they requested for, and the stipulation was for the windows to be closed.
But is the once a month in the contract? Does it say once a month?
I believe it does. Excuse me. Do you mean in the liquor authority contract or in the community board contract?
Yeah, in the community contract, community board contract.
I believe it does. If it doesn't, we can make sure that it does. We can amend it if that needs.
And what time is this singing gonna happen?
9 p.m. to midnight.
And on what days?
Generally on Tuesdays.
So at night, 12 p.m. at night, you're gonna have music on a residential block? Is that really appropriate to 12 p.m.? On a residential block at 12 o'clock? Yeah, but people live on Flatbush. Unless it's all commercial all of a sudden.
Okay, thank you. So no, that's part of what the consideration of the committee was in terms of noise mitigation, obviously. So part of that was live music, obviously not blowing out the windows, kind of loud music. And the stipulation was, okay, they can do that twice a month, I think one for the live jazz and one for that, but obviously obeying all the noise regulations as well. And this applicant did agree to make sure that they were closing the windows so that way they limited the ambient sound going outside.
Okay.
We do have a question over on this side as well.
When you say music, how loud is that going to be? Is it going to be disturbing the neighbors? You know, you can do music in a way that it's not disturbing people living next door trying to rest.
Well, the karaoke is, I mean, I can't say it's karaoke level, and we have agreed to close the windows. The jazz is in the afternoon on Sundays. To be transparent, we haven't had a complaint about any kind of noise via 311 or myself. I'm very accessible on the internet. My email's on our website, calling the bar. I haven't heard anything from either the community or 311 or even like a direct message to myself. In the 5 years that we've been open, I have not. So not to be vague, but it would be regular ambient, karaoke level music. I don't know what the answer to that is.
Okay, thank you very much. And just to make sure I'm clear on the point, and we'll discuss it in the business session, this is for a change of operation, which means this allows them to do this. They are still beholden to all of the rules and regulations for the city of New York when it comes to amplified music, loud, music in that nature. And of course, there is a responsibility to the neighbors. Fiona's has been here. This is not a new application. They've been here and there have been no complaints otherwise. So this is something that allows them to do that. And of course, with the expectation they adhere to all of the rules and regulations. Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we will hear item C. This is an application for Fugue State LLC, located at 453, 455 Rogers Avenue on the corner of Lincoln Road. This is for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license and temporary retail permit.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Adriana. I am from Hell Run and Levy, and I have the applicant here with me tonight, David Gordon, and the general manager, Lindsay. Can you guys hear me now?
A little bit louder.
Okay, how about now? Better? Okay. Thank you guys for having us here tonight. As the board had mentioned, this is a new application for liquor for a restaurant with a customer bar. This is replacing an existing establishment on the corner of Rogers and Lincoln. We had gone before the board a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and there were concerns about the 2 a.m. request for a closing time. We, again, would like to emphasize that it is a food-forward focused concept and that we want there to be the possibility for a late night evening meal. Again, I would like to highlight that the premise has already been licensed, that for a majority of the time, it's going to be background music only. There will be, on occasion, for special events or buyouts for federal holidays, corporate, anything like that, potentially DJ playing at background level only, just to, again, enhance the dining experience. Nothing amplified or anything like that. There will be a closed fixed facade. There will be limited outdoor seating, which will close at 10 p.m. No music outside whatsoever, not even background. And this is also a actively licensed principal who has years of experience owning and operating in New York. And I'm not sure if everyone on the board got to read the letter submitted by the applicant, voicing why the 2 a.m. is important to their success, highlighting all the previous mentioned points just now, in addition to the fact that they are also a resident of the community and live very close to the premise as well. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Okay, we can take two questions. All right. Suki, we're gonna discuss this during the business session, so if I could ask you to hold questions, and we'll take it during the session. For board member. I'm sorry? Yeah, during the business session, absolutely, as a board member. I'm sorry? We can ask questions, subject to, we can't have 17 minutes of questions, but yes, board members can ask questions. Yes, would you be able to say as well, the applicant? Okay, we would request that.
If you want, I could also read the letter. I don't know if you would like us to do that.
Right, you know, if we could defer that to the business session, so
Okay.
once we get past public session, we can.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Boyd, please, and then, sir, we have you again.
So you plan on serving alcohol and playing music to 2 a.m. in the morning on Lincoln Road and Rogers? Is that what you're telling us?
So it is a restaurant with background music.
I'm well aware it's a restaurant.
Okay, so yes, there will be background music and food served during all hours. DJing will not be an everyday thing. It will be on occasion. But again, background only, just to enhance audience.
What does it say in the contract? Is there a DJ allowed here on this contract? And what days, Brad, please? If you can be more specific.
Well, I'd have to flip through it again.
I think that's important because DJ music is DJ music and you're allowing it to 2 a.m. in the morning. This is a residential block that they're talking about. I'm not sure how they got past you guys with a 2 a.m.
Yes, DJ is part of the application as well.
And during the weekday? Is this during the weekday as well?
We don't plan to have DJ during the week. It would
Does it
only
say
be-
that in the contract? No DJ during the week?
It does not say.
Then if it, you know, then.
Okay, Ms. Boyd,
Okay,
understood.
so,
No, we received your readiness, so absolutely.
okay,
we'll be
thank
accepting.
you. So if it's not gonna have DJ music during the week, it should be in the contract.
Understood.
And I think you guys should consider reducing the time, 2 a.m. in the morning on a residential block in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, yeah, the gentleman here. If you could use the microphone only because we are streaming live as well, so this enables anybody who's online to hear.
Thank you. When you say outdoor seating, do you mean on the sidewalk or on the street taking away parking spots?
It would be on the sidewalk on Rogers.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. So if we could ask if you could stay as well, so when we enter the business session, if there are any questions that, we might need some specifics from you as well. Okay, thank you.
And then during that time, would you like us to read the letter as well? Would that be helpful?
Well, I mean, only just portions that are relevant to the conversation.
Okay.
But if you have it ready, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, okay, so, all right, thank you very much. So we're going to be reviewing all three applications when we get to the business session. At this time, we are now going to go into our public comment period. Per the bylaws, the public comment period for exactly 30 minutes of duration. I would remind speakers you have up to 3 minutes to speak on the topic for the board. Please make sure you are here. The first vice chair is going to be keeping time. He's going to let you know when you have 30 seconds left. Please make sure you conclude by the time when he lets you know that your 3 minutes are up. All right, if possible, wherever possible, just so that way we can make sure we can hear as many comments as possible, please keep your comments shorter if possible. Thank you. All right, at this time, I'm going to call up three speakers if we could, please. If we can bring up Unique Giles, Aaron Gluck, and Jay Soren. If you could come up to the front, please, and we'll take your comments.
Good evening. My name is Unique Gilles.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm a lifelong Brooklyn resident and a representative of the newly formed Hawthorne Community Block Association. This is a Hawthorne between New York and Nostrand. I'm here to bring attention to ongoing development issues on our block. We are seeing properties being purchased and significantly alter additional floors, structural changes that are inconsistent with the character of our neighborhood. Alongside this, we are dealing with persistent sanitation issues tied to construction activity, which has led to an increase in rodent infestations. This is no longer just an inconvenience, it's a public health concern for our block. We're asking for the community board's support in the following ways. First, assistance in assuring that the Department of Buildings is actively inspecting these properties for zoning compliance. Second, guidance on how our block association can be formally recognized and included in communications regarding development in our area. And third, support in addressing ongoing sanitation enforcement to protect the quality of life for our residents. We are organized, we are engaged, and we are looking to partner with the community board to protect our community. Thank you. Sorry, it's Hawthorne between New York and Nostrand. We've had 4 houses bought by property management companies, and they've significantly altered these houses, which makes the block look a little weird. They're building higher and out to the street.
Thank you very much. All right, next we have, is it Aaron Gluck? Apologies in advance about the crowd. Aaron Gluck? Last name is Gluck? Okay, we'll continue on. All right, Jay Sorid.
How about over there? Is it okay over there, Mr. Chair? Live stream, yes.
But turn 90 degrees. Be parallel, be parallel.
Well, I'm gonna speak to the crowd. So, my name is Jay Sorin. I'm speaking of the topic of, I believe before spoke about the neighborhood changing in terms of gentrification. You haven't seen anything yet. There's a project called Vital Brooklyn that is going to happen at Albany and Clarkson. And unfortunately, the civil rights of the community have been completely violated. And there's a cover-up going on, and you've been kept in the dark. When New York State Empire State Development came to this community board in May of 2025, they came here with a huge project from New York State. They said, there's nothing you can do. It's New York State is doing this. There's 9 directors. They're appointed by the governor. There's nothing you can do. They didn't tell you in May, and this is on the CB9's website, that this was also subject to the mayor's approval. The mayor had to vote on this. There was another section. They never told you about mayoral approval, number 1. Number 2, they never told you that this whole project had to go before the city council, according to section 72H of the general municipal law. You wouldn't know this because it's in none of the papers. The way 72H is located in the original RFP. I've been fighting with your representatives at New York State and at the city council level. They're ignoring it. There's a cover-up going on. I request that Rita Joseph, is anybody here from Rita Joseph's office? Thank you, miss. I request that Rita Joseph come in person and inform the community as to whether or not this project had to have a right to go through the city council. I've been emailing, I've been ignored. Assemblyman Cunningham, I've been trying, when you go to the town halls, you don't speak. You get index cards, okay? It takes the crowd out of the game, and you can't speak. I guess everybody was okay. There's a reason for that. Also, this project was supposed to go for around $30 million. Cunningham and Myrie, in 2022, changed a law, created the carve-out. It's selling for $0 to the developers. What was the reason? What was the community benefit? There's an issue of 72H, and this was the notice. They did this in the middle of the summer. No one would know about this. There's no address on this. It's in the back pages of the city record, and you wouldn't know that there's a mayoral hearing. It says nobody showed up to the mayoral hearing. So no one showed up to the mayoral hearing on August
30 seconds.
On August 1st. They passed it on September 10th. This has to go back to the city council according to New York General Municipal Law 72H, which is in the original RFP. I'm being stonewalled. This community board is not helping either. There should have been a major presentation on this. And the land use committee, I have great friends there, but I'll tell you something, it wasn't even put on the agenda. I had to get 10 or 15 of my friends to come out to force the issue. We need people to be more aggressive. There's a cover-up going on. We don't have the right people, and the community has to demand it because one, it has to go from the city. The community has to demand that the assemblyman and the city council have to demand
Mr. Sword,
that New
your
York
time
State
has
does
expired.
something. Okay, you're all getting hustled. Open up your mouth.
Mr. Sword. Next to the speakers, if you can line up, we get Nicholas Cox, Cheryl Bernard, and Renacum Moskowitz. And apologies again if I got it right. Okay. Do we have Ms. Cox? Hold on again, is Nicola Cox here? Okay, all right, we'll need to move on. Go ahead. Ms. Bernard, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Good night. Can you hear me? So I am living across the street from where Vital Brooklyn is being built. For those of you that do not know, it is 7 buildings and 3 shelters. 7 buildings and 3 of them are shelters. One is a MICA shelter, which is mentally ill, chemically addicted. One is a homeless men's shelter, and one is a senior shelter. And then 4 blocks from there, they built 3 buildings. And then a few more blocks, they built 4 more. We have about 14 buildings within a 5-block radius in our neighborhood. This is not fair, okay? This is not fair. Our elected officials, everyone is hush-hush about it. I don't know why no one wants to touch this, and it's not because it's a state project. Because if Jay had time, he would explain what just actually happened. And it was something really sneaky done underhandedly, and I don't know why, but you know, what comes in the dark will come to the truth eventually. But I just want to give some update. As far as construction started, they started construction and they conducted construction on a Saturday, and which they were not supposed to. We called 311, we made some complaints in regards to Vital Brooklyn. I did an email to Yvette Clark, Myrie Zelnor, Brian Cunningham, Rita Joseph's office, Brooklyn Borough President's Department of Building, and CB9. Not too many people got back to me, but all we were asking is that there will be no construction after 3 or on the weekends. I don't think that's too much of I don't think that's hard to ask. I don't think that's unfair. They got through with it, they won. They're gonna get built, but at least let the community have our weekends. So for those of you that live in the community a long time, there's a lot of gentrification, a lot of new people coming in, and I'm for building, but I think it should be fair throughout the community and all over all the 5 boroughs. I do not think in my area alone, in our area, because if you think you're not gonna be affected if you live around here, you're wrong. Everyone will be affected because everyone walks, okay? So I want you to pay attention to what's going on. I need you to, if you want to see me afterwards, ask questions, see how you can help. I'll be happy to help. I don't know what at this point, but I want you to know that there's going to be a Zoom meeting tomorrow with Grand Army Plaza. I don't know how many of you know, but what they want to do now is make Grand Army Plaza a walkway. So pedestrians can walk from Prospect Park to the Arch. Prospect Park to the Arch. Prospect Park to the Arch. So you have a whole park, but now they want to stop vehicular traffic so they can walk from Prospect Park to the Arch. Okay, forget about ambulances, fires, but that's how it is. I asked you to go on the Zoom. I asked you to try to participate. Yeah, a lot of you might be bike people, walking pedestrians, I understand. But one day you'll need a friend with a car. One day you'll need an Uber. One day you will need a vehicle. You will need help one day. I got you, I heard you. But wake up, people. Please pay attention to what's going on. And CB9, did you get my email? Are you going to help? Are we going to get help? That's all I want to know. Can we get help? No construction on the weekend.
The district office will address.
Okay, please.
And just as a
Thank
quick
you.
note, so if you do have, if
Thank you.
anyone experiences quality of life issues like that, please make sure you dial 311 and then let CB9 district office know as well so they can follow up on the complaints to make sure that those things don't happen. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Moskowitz. Before we begin, if I could also, on deck, if we could have Tony Williams, Kyle Levinek, I apologize if I pronounce it, and Mike Goldfarb. You just be ready to come next. Go ahead, Mr.
Hello, my name is Menachem Askowitz. I live in the area where they call Dodger Town. A small few blocks over there. Dodger Town. I live in the area called Dodger Town. 3-4 blocks. A very small, nice community. And I would love that it should stay like that. Unfortunately, they're now this Vital Brooklyn and all that. They're building these gigantic projects that have going to have homeless and low income people. And I just want to say that I was in 2018, April 21st, I was attacked. I was almost strangled to death. It's an 8-minute deal from the district attorney's office that have the video cameras. So I'm very scared that these projects are going to be built. I don't know why they're having so many 14, 15 buildings. The high rise is going to build in our community. It's going to be affecting. I'm scared. I'm petrified because every time I walk on the streets, I have to look on the back of me because the guy attacked me from the back and I had put me in a headlock and strangled me. Luckily, the 2 medical students that came from Kingsbrook Hospital, Jewish Hospital, that stopped the attack. But it's very, very disturbing to see all these buildings keep coming up. And I'm petrified for these buildings to go up. Second of all, there will be lots of different problems in the community. You have sewer that backs up every time there's a major flood. There's always sewers that back up. All of our neighbors get flooded. And also the same thing as with parking. You're building these buildings that hardly have any parking. It's going to be very condensed over here. With a lot of major parking, there is cars parking. As is they're coming out from different communities. And now you're bringing more people to this community, which are going to cause a lot of different headaches. Now, the same thing I was talking about Prospect Park with the cars, vehicle cars. I have to always use cars because my wife has to always go by car. So I always have to go through Grand Army Plaza to Manhattan, or her doctors are in Manhattan, and Mount Sinai, and all that. And she's petrified to go with the transit authority. She gets very close to Bobrick with all the problems.
30 seconds.
Understand? So also the blocking off this whole intersection of Grand Army Plaza is also a very chaotic situation, as is with the mayor making the speed limit lower and everything, and all these bike lanes that's happening here, and now with the new trash things that it's getting ridiculous to move around the city. You might as well get a horse and buggy. We should go back to grassroots. Grassroots start horse and buggy like the 1800s, the 1900s. It's ridiculous.
Thank you very much for your comments. All right, at this time, we have Cody Williams. Followed by Kyle Levinek, again, apologies, and Mike Bolton.
Hello, can you hear me? Thank God. Okay. My name is Tony Williams. I'm a part of the 853 Empire Tenant Association, along with Mr. Terrence Jones. I only have 3 issues. First issue, when is Utica Eastern Parkway elevator going to start working again? Because it's closed for capital repair. And my issue is Accessorize has denied so many New Yorkers access to have Accessorize. So then they have to use the train. But if wheelchair people can't use the elevators, what do you do? What do you do? Second, last month I came in here talking about the storages are too damn high. Well, I tried to get some of my neighbors, but I want to know, can CB9 or anyone from Zellner's office, Mealy's office, Joseph's office, whoever's office, can they have a structured event outside on a nice day where people can come up and say, listen, I only finished the 9th grade, I need help filing a complaint, doing it online, it's not gonna work. Can we do that? Because there's a lot of people who are past and present, and they have issues with the storages. And it's too high, and they may not know how to file a complaint or how to do a class action situation. And the issue is having these issues and saying, you know what, I'm no longer with CubeSmart, or I'm no longer with Manhattan Mini. But even though you're no longer with them, they still hurt you. They hurt your pockets. So can we have a structured event for that? And the last thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna make it quick because I don't want it to be the situation that happened a few weeks ago with the mistaken identity guy who got beat up. How can we ensure to our neighbors that that's not gonna happen to you? Because I know I'm cute, but I look like a few other people I've seen outside. So how do I know MRPD is not gonna come and do that to me? Like, is Jessica Tish talking about firing these people? I mean, like fire. They can no longer be in law enforcement. Not sitting in the Staten Island or Yonkers or Westchester or, you know, the nice area. How do we know they're gonna be out of law enforcement? And I said, yeah, Allison, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lucas. All right, this time we'll have, and I apologize again, Kyle Levinek.
Thank you. You've nailed it every time you said it. So great job. Time's up. Hi, everybody. My name is Kyle Levinek. I've been working with the mutual aid group up in CB8 for the last couple years to try to help increase block association awareness. And we've created a mapped site for it. And so I just wanted to come down here, let people know if you have a block association, you can map it, you can help people find it. We're trying to do this with all the CBs around here. We've had a really good response so far. The site is called blockmapper.org. I've got flyers for it, but I'm happy to talk to anybody about it, show it around, help you submit your block association. We want to make sure basically people can find out that there is a block association on their block or in their area, whatever. This we're doing with an organization called Crown Heights Care Collective. They're based out of another world up at 629 Nostrand. So we're trying to build all this block awareness, block power. And one of the ways that we're actualizing that is, I'm sure some of you remember June Balloon, the big celebration. We're trying to bring it back. Crown Heights Care Collective at Another World. We've got the permits as of this week to bring it back. So we're planning for it for June. I highly recommend you stop by Another World, ask them about it, help them plan it. They're always looking for folks to add more input. A lot of the block associations up there are already doing that. So blockmapper.org, come grab me, grab a flyer, whatever, I'll be around. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we could have Mike Goldfarb. And if I could ask if you could get ready, Alicia Boyd, Jacob Goldstein as well.
Good evening, everyone. For the few folks in the room I've not met before, my name is Mike Goldfarb. Two quick things. So first, we have Open Streets returning to much of the city this weekend. I know I've heard from many members of the community that they wish they could find out more about programming available to them and their children, even outside of this community board. So we've been speaking to a number of the organizers of Open Streets in other proximate areas who would warmly welcome participation from more people. And so if you're interested in learning more, the Open Streets folks I was with just before this will be doing free martial arts classes for children, free bike lessons for children, free skateboarding lessons for children, Pilates for adults. I'd be more than happy to make sure everyone is kept up to date on other places that they can take advantage of. You can always send me an email, my personal email address, michael.letterj.goldfarb@gmail.com. And then secondly, just wanted to remind everyone, we do have upcoming elections coming June 23rd. If you need to register to vote, if you need to change your address, if you need to request a mail-in ballot, dates come up awfully quickly. Don't forget, go to vote.nyc. The vast majority of what you need to do can be done electronically. And again, if anyone has any issues, then myself and other members of the community here would be happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so we have Alicia Boyd, and then we have Alicia, can Rabbi go first? He's already up there and it's difficult to walk. Yeah, we'll call everyone. We'll call everyone. All right, go ahead, Jake. Go ahead, and then Ms. Boyd right after.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to be standing in front of the community board. I did it for 34 years. And we did a lot of great things. We built our parks, did our streets, had a fight or two. At the end of the day, we accomplished. First question I want to know, are there city officials here that have to do with migrant shelters? Anybody here from the city? Nobody? Community Board 9. What gives?
That's a problem.
What? Nobody made a phone call to invite the people to come? I can tell you that's a disgrace. That is not good. They should have been here. Yeah, you're from the city? I'm not going there. I'm just asking if there's anybody here. If there's anybody here from city government that relates to a shelter, the answer is no. The next question is, did the community board notify the city that there will be a public hearing tonight to talk about this? We're here to talk about it. That's how I know. So, moving right along, there's a problem from the get-go, as we say, out at the door. For those of you who are here, my name is Jacob Goldstein, Rabbi Jacob Goldstein. I was the chair of this board for 34 years. Let me give you a quick background on the piece of property that we're talking about. The city of New York, bunch of years ago, when I was chairman, wanted to put a shelter in there of 600 people. We were notified of the board a week before this was going to be done or going to go into effect. I personally struck the action, and I picked up the phone and I called up the New York State Governor's office, who was George McCarthy, was the governor, and I said, Governor, I spoke to his chief of staff, that we cannot have this. The next day, the city of New York was on the way to Albany to pick up the lease for the property where they were going to put in 600 adult men in that shelter.
30 seconds.
And what happened was, when the city of New York came to get the lease from the state, they were told, you're not getting it, you have to speak to Rabbi Goldstein. They didn't get it. And finally, after 3 days, the deputy mayor's office was calling me literally every hour. We had a meeting. I forced a meeting between all the players. And what happened was simple. They cut it down to 105 people from 600. They could not stay there overnight. They could come there, they could stay there overnight, but they had to leave in the morning.
Rabbi's verdict time is expired.
The point being that if you don't get organized, and see, and I can see right away, there is no organization, nobody for the government. They could care less. And to a certain degree, that is a failure of board number 9 and the leadership.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, next 3 speakers, Alicia Boyd, then we have Aaron Gluck, and we're going to conclude with Nicola Cox.
You know, we got a shelter coming in this community, a men's shelter. What has happened? Nothing. Like Goldstein has said.
I'm sorry, 1 second. All right. Listen, I understand, but remember, we've talked about this before. Respect. You're going to hear things you may not like, but we need to make sure the speakers have the opportunity to say what they need to say and be heard. Okay? You'll have your time. Thank you. Go ahead.
Can you redo the clock? A men's shelter. Now, where are your elected officials? Where are they? They're not here. They're not sitting here. Where is the agencies? Where is your government agencies? They're not here. And yet a men's shelter is about to come into our community. And we already are saturated with shelters. We got Vital Brooklyn with shelters. We just within that block that this men's shelter is coming in, there's a woman's shelter a half a block away. There's a family shelter 2 blocks away. We are saturated with shelters, which is supposed to be a violation of the law. But in our community board, no one does anything. No one demands that our elected officials show up and speak to us about these shelters. No one demands that the city agencies come and speak to us. And I tell you people, if you do not organize, if you do not come out and make their lives hell, that men's shelter is gonna come into your neighborhood and make your life hell. Let me tell you, your life is going to be hell. You think it's okay to have a men's shelter right around the corner, across the street from a children's playground at a school? What do you think is gonna happen? Where do you think they're going? Where do you think they're hanging out? They're hanging out right around the corner on your stoop. Where are they shitting? They're shitting on your stoop. Where are they pissing? They're pissing on your stoop, okay? They're in your children's playground, okay? Hanging out. Watch it, people, because it's coming. And if you do not organize, you do not get yourself up and out and make hell for your elected officials, including Hudson, who approved this. Where is Hudson? Where's Hudson representative? Not even here. Where is she? Anybody here from Hudson? No. Not even here. A complete disrespect. And our community board has done nothing to demand. Why haven't they written to our elected officials? Why haven't they made phone calls and tell them to come here and speak to the community? I tell you, if you do not organize, your life is going to be hell when that men's shelter comes, because I've seen it. They are organizing tomorrow at Sullivan. Thursday. Okay, Thursday. Can I get that notice, please? 7 o'clock on Empire and Sullivan Place. It's the church right there on Sullivan and Empire, off of Bedford. Okay, people, y'all know more than I do. I don't need to tell you. Okay, get there. 7 o'clock. Organize. Because let me tell you something. Shelters are not done deals. Don't let anybody tell you that. You give your elected official help, that shelter is going. Both of your elected officials are running for office. Okay? Your city council people are running for office. Hudson wants to be the next borough president, and Reno wants to be the next borough president. Okay? Borough president. That means is that they are going to be not wanting bad press. You don't use that to your advantage. You're going to have a shelter forever. Oh, it is? Yes. 17 seconds out.
Okay. We need to move this along a little bit more quickly, okay? So at this point, we have Aaron Gluck. Support. And then we're going to conclude with Ms. Cox. Come forward.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Aaron Gluck. Many of you guys may know me. I've recently started attending community board meetings. And the reason why I've started caring about this community is I live in this community. And right next to my house is Vital Brooklyn. I live on East 46 in Winthrop. Vital Brooklyn is literally right in front of me. 4 o'clock in the morning, I hear the dumpsters backing in on the street. I can see every move that's happening over there. The reason, and I see that every single speaker here actually spoke about it. And I don't think we need to elaborate more how messy this place is going to become with such a shelter. What I think needs to start happening more is this thing what's happening right here. People standing up, speaking, because the first time I heard about the homeless shelter, And I came to community board meeting 9, was back in 23. And when I was there, most of the community board wasn't fully on board to fight against it. And here it is 2 years later, 2026, I come to the community board meeting, and guess what? There's actually no one on the community board that is not fighting against it. So we really need to work on that angle and make sure to fight that. Now, obviously, like everybody knows, nothing is without money, right? So we need to start focusing on cutting those funds, and we can actually make it happen. We really need to do that. And that's going to cut them to continue building those shelters. And look over here, they just started announcing to build over here on Empire. And it's basically becoming the sheep, the black sheep of Brooklyn. We're getting all the garbage at one place located because why not? The community wasn't fighting against it. It's not the community wasn't fighting against it. It's our representatives of the community weren't listening to what the community said. Because when I speak to my neighbors on my block, they say, you know, we reached out to council members, we reached out to our people. And what they say, oh, it's not our problem. We cannot fix that. It's already gone. It's already decided. No, that's not true. Council members can fight this. People in office can fight this, but they don't care about it. They care about the next position, the next power. That's all they care about, and that's what they're focused on. So if the higher position that's going to put them in the next position is going to give them to move this project, then that's what they're going to move this project. See, the time is up. I appreciate that. Just want to let you guys know this big change is coming because I'm running for state assembly. So big changes are coming. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. All right, this time we'll have Nicole Cox.
Thank you. And for the people online, I'm going to show you the flyer so that you can see that we are trying to organize. And we want the respect that this community deserves. We've been through redlining. We've been through disinvestment. This community has had police block watches because they wanted to keep the drugs and the alcohol off of their blocks, out of their driveways. We have been through it time and time again. I've grown up in the neighborhood. Many people have been here for 50, 60 years. And they're getting pushed out because the taxes are going up, the rents are going up, the expenses of the city are going up. We've asked for affordable housing. We were told this neighborhood, especially where we are by Empire Boulevard, we're too expensive. You're right by the park. We can't put 100% affordable housing there. But what have we gotten? Shelter after shelter. They took Standing Nations, a block, beautiful church, converted it with a 99-year lease, and gave us 80% shelters, 20% affordable housing. We fought back. It was like, give us some more affordable housing. People need housing. They gave us a shelter. They gave us a domestic violence shelter in the community. They put that in when we thought that building was going to be housing. And now here again, Ramada Hotel came, and we thought, hotel next to a burnt out building, how's that going to work out? But, you know, we walk by faith. And now we're hearing in the dead of night, all of a sudden it slipped, and now it's all of a sudden, June 1st, we're getting a shelter. There's no respect for this community because all we want is communication. If you want to change something, give us the facts and figures. We know that there's a problem, and we know that there's a homeless problem in this city. We're not saying that we don't want the homeless don't need a place to go. But if there's closing a shelter in Manhattan and you need places to put them, there are 5 boroughs, there are lots of community boards, there are lots of districts. Why do they always end up here? Because the squeaky wheel, they don't want to deal with those. They think that they can slip something in here and we're just going to roll over and take it. Show us the facts and figures. Sit down, we're rational people. You show us why it makes economic sense to put a shelter on Empire Boulevard. next to a domestic violence shelter nearby with a heavily trafficked with school kids, elementary school, middle school, high school, preschoolers going for their walks to go to the park. Kids going to the community center up on Bedford Avenue. And now they're going to be walking by a men's shelter every day? That doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, a mile away, we have a 350-bed men's shelter. We have a shelter in this area. So basically, we want to get organized, as Rabbi Goldstein said, as Alicia said. We want our community to be safe and secure like everybody else's. Come out on Thursday, 7 o'clock at Full Gospel Assembly Church on Bedford Avenue and Sullivan Place, so we can get organized. We can put the pressure on our elected officials because they work for us. As we've said time and time again, they don't work for the people. I don't know who's lining their pockets, but we vote you in and we can vote you out.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank all those who spoke as part of public commentary. It's critical that we get this kind of feedback as well. There are a number of items that came out just because we want to make sure we're able to move through the agenda. I will address a number of those points when we get to my chairman's report, as I'm sure the district manager will be able to do so when he gets to that portion of the agenda during the business session as well. But again, thanks to all who've given us testimony this evening. All right, at this time, we're going to do acknowledgements. I'll ask in advance for all the representatives and elected officials who are here, if we can be succinct and brief in terms of giving your remarks or announcements. We want to make sure we're able to get into the, if we can be brief and succinct, because we need to make sure we respect the space and we get out on time as well. All right, so at this time, we are going to call for a representative from the Honorable Yvette Clarke's office.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ali Slavin, Community Liaison for Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. The Congresswoman is actually a member of your sorority of the Delta. So thank you for being here. In addition, for tomorrow night's meeting, we will have somebody from our office representing the Congresswoman in DC. So we'll have somebody from our office at your meeting tomorrow regarding the shelters. So we're located at 222 Lenox Road between Rogers and Ostrin. Our number is 718-287-1142. A lot of things are happening in DC. Please go to clark.house.gov. That's clark.house.gov. There's all the information as far as what the Congresswoman is involved in, bills that she's sponsoring, co-sponsoring, supporting. Now, we just completed a congressional art competition for youth in our community. We had over close to 50 participants, and the winners do go to Washington, and they are shown at the Capitol in DC. Also, upcoming, I put flyers on the table, is a job fair sponsored by the Congresswoman and other elected officials. It's at the Central Library, 10 Grand Army Plaza. That's May 5th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So please pick up a flyer and see that yourself or friends, family to join. Last year we had a tremendous success putting people in place with and matching them up with employment. I also left on the other table STEP, Smart Travel Enrollment Program. That is, if you're traveling and times are tough, people are scared to travel, you would register with the embassy or the consulate of the country that you're traveling. So that's a very important flyer for you to pick up. Also, we have now 3 satellite offices that we represent during the month. So as I announced last time, I'll just give it again. Every first Wednesday at Kojo Flatbush, which is on Avenue M, their number is 718-737-72900. Every second and fourth Wednesday, we're at Assemblyman Simcha Ashton's office in Borough Park, 718-853-9616. And every third Wednesday, we're at State Senator Sam Sutton's office, is also on Avenue J. So if you have friends or yourself who work in the area and you need our services, Please take advantage. Good night, stay safe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. At this time, we can have a representative from Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso's office.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Good evening. So I'm gonna do my announcements first. Can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. All of the announcements that I'm making, I've given my flyers to Allison and they are on the table. First thing is that there is a 2026 graduation award nomination. The borough president is proud to announce that nominations, I apologize, sorry about that noise. The borough president is proud to announce that nominations are now open for the 2026 Pre-K-12 Graduation Awards. School administrators are invited to nominate students until Monday, June the 1st at 5 p.m. Again, this information is on the flyers and on our website. NYC Teen Dating Violence Awareness Walk on April 25th. Please join us to take a stand against teen dating and sexual violence. We will be meeting at 10 a.m. on Tillery Street and Cabin Plaza to march across the Brooklyn Bridge. Upcoming office, there's going to be an upcoming office Brooklyn Borough President X Made in NYC, which is going to be on the week of May 3rd to the 5th. Again, you can see the flyers. Please join us for a special collaboration with Made in NYC, New York, an annual event series spotlighting the craftsmanship and talent within New York City's vibrant manufacturing community. There's also going to be a public hearing scheduled for ULURP. The Office of the Borough President will be hosting a ULURP hearing every second Wednesday of the month. Members of the public may participate in person at Borough Hall. Again, information is available on our website. And also, the borough president is deeply alarmed by New York's requirements for SNAP. And please contact our office. Again, we have information on our website and on our flyers. That's really about it. I also want to mention, if you guys have any questions regarding the borough president's stand on any issues that are raised and or need support, I am not in a capacity to talk about that, but you can contact our office. Allison has my contact information, and I am more than happy to direct you and who you need to talk to get the help that you need. And that goes for any organization. The borough president is here to support you, and so am I.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Katrina Azamard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we have a representative from State Senator Zelnor Myri's office.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the District Director, Senior Advisor for State Senator Zelnor Myri's office. I just bring a few announcements. One, count us at this meeting. We'll definitely be there. We are having, like Eli said, a job fair on May 5th. We're super excited about this. This is our 4th annual job fair, and we do 2 every year, a spring version and a fall version. And so we're super excited about this event. So far, we have about 31 businesses that are registered and about 945 people that have registered. So if you know someone who's looking for work, please have them fill out the RSVP form on the flyers on the table by the piano. Our next event is going to be our Immigration Resource Fair. That is on May 21st at Lenox Road Baptist Church. We are working in partnership with Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. So if you know anyone who may need immigration information, may be looking for any kind of help, please bring them on out. That event is going to be from anywhere between 12 to 6, either 12 to 4 or 2 to 6. So Once I get the final exact time, I'll let you guys know, but think of anything between 12 and 6. We did get a couple of our bills passed this week and last week, so we're super excited about that. If you are not on our email blast, please see me right after this announcement so that we can get you on our email blast. We share a lot of information about our bills that we're passing, information about bills that are going through specific committees. Today, we actually passed one of our language bills for the Voting Rights Act, 4221, I believe the bill is. So reach out to our office. We're located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue and the corner of Lincoln Road, and the office number is 718-284-4700. Thank you and have a great evening. 284-4700. You're welcome.
All right, this time we have a representative from Assembly-Member Harris Farm Forest Office.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Isaiah Dawson. I'm the constituent liaison for State Assembly Member Harris Farm Forest. I just have one announcement today. I wanted to announce that we are launching our 4-part organizing and leadership training series called Brooklyn Roots. So this is a training series for community members in the neighborhood who want to learn how to build collective power. So this training series will start on Saturdays on September 12th. It's a pretty easy application. You just apply online. The link is bit.ly/bkroots26. So at this organizing series, you'll learn a lot of critical skills, including how to navigate state government, how to power map political power players in your neighborhood, and also how to build relationships with folks in your neighborhood. We also will be providing food and childcare every weekend at this organizing series as well, and it's a completely free program. If you have any more questions, please feel free to approach me and ask. A lot of offices don't put their times into doing this, but we do, because whatever issues that you're concerned about in your community, we want you to be empowered and we want you to know how to organize and how to speak on behalf of yourself. Have a great evening and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. At this time, we have a representative from Assemblymember Monique Chandler Waterman's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I am the constituent liaison with the Office of Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman. She has a very small part of this community, but she cherishes it and she feels compelled to be here. Unfortunately, she should be here. She might still be making it, but I'm not sure. So we'll keep it fingers crossed. But I'm here. I have a few announcements. This Saturday, May 2nd, we are supporting a young lady by the name of Joelle Alexis Josie. She's 10 years old, and she's leading a citywide movement to promote unity, end violence, and empower youth to create stronger, safer communities. And it's called RISE, Recognize, Interrupt, Support, Empower. We don't fight each other, we fight together. So this is happening this Saturday at 11 o'clock at Diamond Education Center, 9302 Avenue B, Brooklyn. And we're encouraging everyone to attend. It will take the form of a panel discussion and last for just 2 hours. So it won't take you a whole Saturday. So we're encouraging you to attend. The flyer was given out what I had, but I also made all the flyers that I have tonight available to CB9. So if you're on their contact, you should get it. We ask them to distribute the flyers for us. So that's Rise Day Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Diamond Kids Education Center in Brooklyn. Also, we are supporting Sesame Flyers with their Spring into Health event, which is next Saturday, May 9th at Winthrop Beacon. And again, that flight is also, so come on out and see all that they have in store for you. Mark the date on Thursday, July 2nd. We will have our shredding day at the Earl Jameson and Patrick Bowman houses. And it's open to whoever wants to come. July 2nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And if you miss us on July 2nd, there will be a second opportunity on August 20th to catch us in front of our office at 903 Utica Avenue. That's between Church and Snyder. And also on the agenda for July 9th and August 6th, we have the free legal services, NILAG. They will be coming in, and we are taking appointments for that. They're limited, but we are taking appointments all now for July 9th and August 6th. All of these you can get from TV9. And again, we want to encourage you, if you have concerns within the community, you can always call our office. We are open. And the number is 718-385-3336. You can call or you can walk in. We have other services that we offer, like housing and autism, but for those you must call and make an appointment. So thank you for listening. Have a good night.
The number is 718-385-3336. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. At this time, we also have with us this evening, female district leader for the 43rd, Michelle Tejier.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Michelle Tejier. I am the member of State Committee here for Assembly District 43. And on behalf of myself and my co-leader, Anthony Beckford, I wish you a good evening. I would just like to share one thing that's coming up, please, on Thursday, and that's a community health and resource fair. It's going to be held at the Brooklyn Children's Museum rooftop, and that's located at 145 Brooklyn Avenue. There are a number of elected officials and other city and government agencies that are hosting this event and that will be on site to provide resources and to take any comments or concerns that you may have. This is a free event, so I encourage you, if your schedules permit, to please come on over to the Brooklyn Children's Museum rooftop on Thursday. The hours are between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Thursday. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and God bless.
Thank you so much. All right, that last call, are there any elected officials or representatives who did not sign on the list? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so this time we've completed, we've completed the public session. At this time, we're going to go to the business session. Madam Secretary. You ready? Please call the roll. Quick housekeeping item. Any board members who did not sign on to the list, please make sure you come up to the front. Make sure you sign the list for the attendance, okay? As well.
Good night. Adil Maccabee. Nicholas Amanar. Fred Baptiste. Solan Benjamin. Catherine Bocello. Joanna Carr. Suki Shah. Kendall Christensen.
Present.
Eve Corey. Max Davidson. Lisa Etienne. Madame Gabois. Bishop Sylvester Gonzalez. Shauna Hartley. Rod Herbert. Drew Johnston. Drew Johnson. Vonnie Joseph. Renisha Labare. Renisha. Mayne Laguti. Francisco Leopold. Christian Laboy. Christian Laboy. Andrew Magnus. Letwin Mavina. Marcella Maxwell. Marcia Maxwell. Vanna Mears. Rohan Mognoy. Lati Bucci. Ethan Norton. Denzel Adoro. Isaiah Piku. Hassan Kazi. Vanessa Raptopoulos. Lisa Robertson. Minnie Rosenberger. Melissa Sophia. Melissa Sophia. Bakari Tandia. Joshua Thomas Serrano. Joshua. Abigail Tim. Present. Debbie Timothy. Linda Watson Lord, that's me, I'm here. Dawn Welters.
Present.
Teresa Westerdahl. Joyce Williams. Lorianne Wolseley. Lorianne Wolseley. Steve Zelter.
Okay, as the secretary tallies the members, are there any members who did not hear their name called? Any members who did not hear their name called? Okay, so as the secretary, again, as the secretary is tallying up the attendance, please make sure for all board members, if you have not done so, please review the minutes. We're going to go on to that as the next item to approve adopt the minutes.
Present tonight, we have 34 members, that's a quorum.
Hearing 34 members present, we have quorum. Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we're going to go on to item 2, the approval of the March 2026 General Board meeting minutes. The minutes have been submitted as part of the packages. At this time, are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? I call for a second time. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes at this time? Hearing none, is there any objection to adoption of the minutes by common consent? Hearing no objection, Madam Secretary, please note the minutes are adopted by common consent. At this time, we're going to move to item 3, committee reports. The committee reports have been submitted as part of the package. They're also available on the website. At this time, are there any committee chairs that have announcements that they wish to make with regards to their respective committees? To your left. Great. We see Parks Recreation. We see Land Use as well.
Thank you. My name is Nicholas Amadou, Chair of Park Education and Culture Committee. I just want to thank everybody for participating that came up to the first annual Brooklyn and Open Park Conference at Prospect Park. This was a very nice session. You could go, CD9 was privileged to be able to record it, so you could find some recording of that conference on the CD9 YouTube channel. I also would like to recognize one person, not from my committee, from the youth committee, for the tremendous work that was done this particular Saturday for the education town hall. I want to call out specifically T.B. Leonardo to give her in public the flowers for the work she done now. Thank you very much.
Just a very quick announcement. I think it's in the minutes that our land use town hall is May 4th, but it's going to be rescheduled for later in the month. So keep an eye out from an announcement from the board office.
Okay, my apologies for that. All right. Any other committee reports? Any chairs? Any urgent announcements? Okay, hearing none, we are going to go to the district manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. No, good evening. All right, I've been here for 5 years. I want good evenings. All right, so let's get to it. So a couple of notices. The mayor has taken major steps towards citywide trash containerization. The administration announced 6 new districts, 1 in each borough. The one that is going to be in Brooklyn was announced to be in Crown Heights North, CB8. I've already asked, there's no expectation right now for CB9 to get any locations, but if that comes up, we will definitely put it in our e-blast. The 2026 Home Energy Assistance Program application is available for eligible households across the city. This program helps income-eligible New Yorkers purchase and install an air conditioner or a fan to stay safe or cool during the hot summer months. I'm going to come back to that piece. We have had National Grid in our office for the first Fridays. If you have a high bill, if you're interested in any type of incentive programs, maybe you're in arrears, whatever your situation is, you have questions about your National Grid bill, you can come to our next event, which is going to be this Friday, May 1st. National Grid will be there. You can please bring your bill, speak to a National Grid representative, and they'll be able to answer all your questions on the spot. I've been mentioning this, so you're aware. The Department of Sanitation is proposing to amend its rules to include the implementation schedule for Midtown South and Staten Island commercial waste zones. We are Brooklyn East with no set implementation date, okay? But if you are interested in knowing how this might roll out or the types of questions other communities are asking, you can join the public hearing that will be taking place May 8th. It's a Friday at 10 a.m. Via Microsoft Teams. We'll put that in our e-blast as well. Some of you in here might have received emails from Borough Hall stating that you are a new member of Brooklyn Community Board 9. That will go into effect tomorrow. Okay? We have new board members. They have been appointed by the borough president's office. So the roster for CB9 will change tomorrow, okay? If you did not reapply, if Borough Hall did not reach out to you, if you did not have an interview, you are not a member of Brooklyn Community Board 9. If you received an email from Borough Hall stating you are a member, welcome to Brooklyn Community Board 9. Elevator complaints, major issue. If you live in a large building, or even any type of building, but a large building that definitely has a lot of older adults, please reach out to the board office with your address. What we're finding is when we reach out to TOB, they send an inspector. The inspector does the inspection. They notice the landlord to repair it, and then they never repair it. Or they repair it, and then it goes right out of service. We tell DOB to go back out. They do the same thing. And DOB can only do so much. The landlord has to repair the elevator. So if this is an issue in your building, please let us know, because we are going to compile a list of those addresses, because this likely is going to need some type of regulatory change. So we're going to steer that toward our elected officials. Let's see. The Utica elevator. When I get an update from the MTA, I will blast it out. It should be coming back online by the summertime, which is the expectation. But they have not said anything since taking it out of service. I will reach out to the MTA to see if they have a more clear timeline of when both in our district, Utica and Prospect, will be back online. One of the things is, you've heard it over and over again, we did receive a notice from the Department of Homeless Services regarding a shelter placement in our district. That placement will be an all-men's shelter, 140 beds. The nonprofit provider will be Project Renewal. And that contract is expected to start in the summer, expectation probably July 1. I bring this up because you've heard it and heard it and heard it, okay? I send out a lot of e-blasts to the community. It's a lot of information, I know. But if you want to be informed, you have to read it. I cannot read it for you. I literally have to read everything that comes into the board office and to condense it just for you all. So all I am asking is, if you want to be informed, read the information that comes out from the community board. Secondly, go on to government websites rather than TikTok and sign up for their listservs. They all have listservs. Like, you can literally go to rules.nyc.gov, where every public hearing is posted, and they will send it to you, okay? So we all have technology. Let's use it a little bit better and wiser. It's hard to do this job and send out information, and then to stand up and hear people say they're not informed, or who's doing what. I have reached out to DHS, to DSS, to these agencies. They will stand before you and they will speak and answer every question you have. All I ask is, give me a little bit of time to get a date, a place, the right people in front of you, so you get all the answers that you need. That is happening as we speak. I'm just needing to confirm location, and then we're good to go. So they'll be there, it's happening, okay? Last thing is, I don't know if there are any of the residents who are impacted by this, but some members of the community did come to our community board and make a complaint about an air conditioning unit at St. Gabriel's. So I wanted to let St. Gabriel's Senior Center, the church on Hawthorne. So I wanted to let everyone know that this morning, myself, members from Senator Myrie's office, the DEP Borough Commissioner, who's filling in right now, who was the other elected? And another elected office, Rita Joseph's office was there as well. We met with the church. We met with them, okay? So I want you to understand where we're at in this process, okay? What they have to do now, and I'm not an engineer, so I'm gonna try to make it very pedestrian. What they have to do now is cover this air conditioning unit with an industrial blanket. Listen, don't laugh. This is something real, okay? This is real, okay? With some type of industrial blanket and rubber, some type of compound to prevent it from vibrating. That is their first solution. That's what they're trying to do. The expectation is that that will be done within 3 weeks. We are going to monitor that in 3 weeks. If that's not finished, right? Or if they go out and they do it, and DEP comes back and says the noise is too much, the expectation is they will likely have to build a wall, and that will take more time. So what I want everyone to understand here is we're having the conversations. DEP made it abundantly clear the church has to take care of this, and they need to take care of it very soon. DEP is not going to go back to the location until after the first court date, which is June 28th. Okay? So as they start to make progress on that, I will be engaging the leadership at the church, the senior center, to figure out when it's been installed, if they've got DEP back out there to do an assessment, and then we'll go from there. All right, my report.
All right.
Go to rules.nyc.gov website. That's a website.
Okay. All right. All right. I just want to remind everyone we are in business session, so at this time it's members of the board who are able to ask questions and give comments. But all right, at this time, are there any members of the board who have questions regarding the district manager's report? Yeah, I see. Treasurer, anyone else who wishes to have a question? I see you as well. Any other members? We are closing on Francis. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, so mine.
Thank you, Dante. Just a quick reminder that we emailed about, but I think we forgot it. That New York City is beginning to enforce the obscure storefront gate transparency law as of July 1st.
Yes.
Just a reminder for everyone.
Yeah. So if you have a storefront, your gate coverage, I think it's 70% open, 30% closed. Supposed to be the ratio. If you have any type of commercial storefront, this does impact you. If you have a storefront that has multiple gates, that means every gate, okay? So if you have any questions, we can connect you to the appropriate agency to make sure you get the information.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment based on what the district manager just said, pertaining to the buildings with the elevators. So if any one of you in here experiencing any issues in your building, my name is Francisco Leopold. I work for the New York City Commission on Human Rights. And so if anyone is experiencing any problem in your home, in the building, with any kind of accommodation for the elderly at the elevators, please reach out to me after. I'll give you my information. There is one of my colleagues, he's assigned to this board. I will give him your information and then we'll take it from there. So we do send persons to the buildings to inspect and to make sure that is rectified, because sometimes persons came to me and the pregnant mothers, they didn't have an elevator for 6 months and they have to be walking up and down the steps. And persons were sick in their buildings and the family members had to carry them on the back, down the stairs and up the steps. So please reach out to me and give my information and then we'll take it from there.
There's a lot of information over on the table. We bring in and we print out so much. I am really honestly saddened and tired of killing trees because we bring all that and it stays there at the end of the night. So my charge to you all is take every paper on that table home. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, Mr. District Manager. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge the district manager and the team as well for all the hard work they do. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. A lot of work that goes on. So thank you so much. Best of the business. We're now going to go into the chairman's report. I'm going to try and touch. All right, so I'm going to go into the chairman's report. I have a few items I want to discuss. I want to touch on some of the things that were brought up this evening as part of public commentary and some ongoing issues. But first, before I do that, I did want to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of the chair of Community Board 17, Roderick Daly. I've had the opportunity to work with him. We served as chairs together. The passing of Community Board 17 Chair Roderick Daly. So he recently passed after a long battle with illness, but he stayed in the fight. And he was always there. And when I was in the room advocating, he was in the room advocating. It was a great relationship because one of the things we've always said about Central Brooklyn is the borders, the issues don't stop at borders, arbitrary borders. So there were things that happened at 17 or 14 or 9 or 8, and it didn't matter. We knew that we had communities we needed to advocate for, and a lot of the fights we were fighting were the same. So he fought many of those fights, and he's gone on to his rest. But I did want to take that opportunity to address, to acknowledge that, and to also give condolences to his family as well. All right, I'm going to be going around a little bit. The new members. So as the district manager had said, the letters have gone out as of today. So if you are a member, you are still a member as of today, tomorrow will be the changeover. So I don't believe we received a list of who's there. All I wanted to do is just take a moment to thank, if you're a member who is not returning, I just want to take an opportunity to thank you for your service, for being a part of this, because we know that members are always, you're on the board because you are plugged into the community because you are doing a lot of things. So to add this to your plate was a sacrifice that you made for this district. And I thank you and we honor that sacrifice and we wish you all the best in whatever it is you do after that. And we always invite you to come back and still be a part of this board because hopefully you are still a part of this community as well. So I thank you in advance for that. I want to take an opportunity to discuss. I think one of the things we've heard a number of times throughout the public session, and it comes up in all the committee meetings as well, are the quality of life issues. So if we have people building out of time, so if they're doing things on weekends or out of hours, if there are the proliferation of certain things, if there's garbage, if there's trash, if there are elevators that are out, it's important that, we really appreciate when you come to the public session, and we really appreciate when you come to the committee meetings as well. Because one of the things I'll say is we have on the books 50 members of the community on the board. We don't know everything. And we don't know what we don't know. So it's important and it's critical that you come to these forums and that you let us know what's going on so that way the team can take care of that as well. Again, we have one of the greatest district offices in the business. They are fantastic at handling that. The only thing I would ask is if you have community complaints, please, first things first, call 311. Things work by the numbers, funding goes by the numbers. So if you yell at your neighbor, it doesn't get registered with the city and life will carry on. So it's important that you dial 311. The next step after that is to come to CB9 and let us know that you've done that. Organize, you have neighbors who've done it as well. Let us know that so we can follow up and make sure that we address these issues. We are all residents of the district. You are taxpayers, you are our community members. You have the right to have quality service. And if it's not happening, please make sure to let us know so we can assist you in making sure that those things are rectified. I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge a highlight. This weekend, a number of great things happened. We already had the Parks Chair talk about the event that happened on Sunday. Additionally, we had our Youth Services and Education Committee held an educators forum over at St. Francis de Sales School. One, let me acknowledge them because they've been a great partner because they've always let us come in to do these kinds of things. And it was a great forum to have. We had the superintendent for District 17. We had the president of Medgar Evers College. We had an assistant principal for D75. We had a parent coordinator, and it was an important conversation to talk about education. And what do we need to do in our district to make sure our children are receiving world-class education so they can compete in the world when they're done. And it's an important conversation and a conversation that is going to continue. So I thank the committee for all the work that you've done. And I thank all the committees for all the work you do, and we're looking forward to continuing these kinds of efforts. I also want to touch on something the district manager said about St. Gabriel's. I'm happy again to the point that the residents came to us and we were able to intervene or to assist in having the conversation. We also had a conversation with Union Street Block Association regarding scaffolding that is problematic. And this is part of the reason why the board is here, to help assist with those conversations. And one of the things we want to do is not necessarily gang up on another party, but wherever possible, structure the conversation so that we as neighbors can come to solutions that work. So I encourage that. As a board, we should continue that work in terms of not seeing each other as adversaries, but as neighbors. And every once in a while, neighbors might have to have a conversation, but it's okay. We all live here and we all care about the district. And that should be the first thing we do, is assume good intent. If we can do that first, we can see each other as humans, and then we can work on the issues after. All right. One, I also want to give a heads up as well. So we have a community fair is going to be coming up. That's about another month and some change out. That is going to be happening June 6th, I believe. And I believe we're at St. Francis at the sales school. Again, one reason why I shout them out. It's been a great event that we've had. We have a number of vendors and organizations that come out, and we're able to share resources and just come together as a community as well. So I invite everyone to come. Please make sure, and I guess segueing into the next plug, please make sure, if you have not already done so, to register with the district office to get on our list. There is a lot of great information, a lot of it that you heard this evening that also ends up being there. So please make sure you're there. That way you can get the notices for hearings, for events, for resources. And I also ask, even if you see resources that you can't necessarily use yourself, please pass the blessings. So if you're involved in organizations, if you're involved in churches, if you're in a synagogue, if you're in a block association, this is the way to make sure that neighbors are able to hear about these things and take advantage of resources. So even when it's not for us, you never know who else can benefit from this as well. I did want to just take one moment, and we'll move on in the agenda, to acknowledge the issue with the shelters. This is not a secret, it's not a surprise. But I will say this, unfortunately, it's also part of the way the system operates. A while ago, the district manager and I had reached out to DHS and said we wanted to get an inventory of how many shelters and everything were in the district. Because we understand that we feel the pressure of having yet another shelter open up in the district. Understanding there is a chronic homelessness issue in the city. We get it. We also understand that there is a concept of fair share, which means you can't dump everything in the district. So part of the issue and part of the response that we're going to be doing is reaching out to DHS and to the elected officials to coordinate a response to this. Because no, you can't just dump it. And I think ironically, one of the board members had sent another email. Just as this one opens, they closed one in Manhattan. So where are they moving people to? These are important conversations. And I always want to say this. I never want to say we are going to close our doors to people who need help, to people who need services. Because a lot of those people sometimes are our neighbors, family, friends, and so on. But at the same time, we do want to make sure that the city is accountable. Whereas now all of a sudden, you can do this. I have a specific issue with the Ramada Inn because that's almost something you could have seen coming. Because I don't know who would have built a hotel right there. But now the city is backing a bad bet. So this is the accountability we need to make sure we hold the city to and our elected officials. And together, we are going to address this. So it is not stopping with CB9. There is a response that is coming from us, and we are going to be coordinating with elected officials as well. And please make sure to go to the forums. There was a forum that was announced earlier. Please let us know whenever you hear news as well, so that way we can act on whatever way we can. Okay, that concludes that portion of the report. The last piece I'm going to go into is Section A, which is the nominations. CB9 is now going into our election season. Per our bylaws, we basically have 3 phases. This evening, we are going to be impaneling a nominations committee. Per the bylaws, it's either 5 or 7 members of the board who are going to make up a committee that is going to canvass the board to see who is interested in running for a position on the executive as an executive officer. There are 7 officers. All the terms are for 1 year, so all the offices are open. So shortly after this, we are going to be opening the floor, and we're going to be taking 7 names, 5 or 7 names, to see who is willing to serve on that. The next step will be they'll conduct the canvass. In May, we are going to identify those who have said yes, they wish to run for certain positions. On that same meeting, we are going to open the floor. So if somebody changes their mind or somebody who wishes to nominate someone else, we will open the floor. We'll have an opportunity to get on the ballot then as well. When we conclude the May meeting, the ballot is closed. Only those names who have been nominated by that meeting will be on the ballot. and then we will hold our formal elections in June. Okay, so I want to make sure everyone is clear on the process. As I say that, the one piece I wanted to do is just as a point of personal privilege, my name will not be on the ballot this year. So, I say that just to say that when I got on here, I thought that there was a lot of work that I needed to do. There was a contribution I felt I needed to do from the chair position. Thanks to the hard work of this board, it's not required anymore. And I think we have more than enough talent and energy and love for this community where we are going to be able to bring in a new chair, and we're going to bring in officers who are going to be able to continue the great work. As probably the second longest tenured member of the board, I remember the bad old days when we were in the paper and never for the right reasons. But due to the members of this board buying into doing the work, I would put this board up against any other board in the city. So I thank you for the opportunity to serve as chair. And after June, I'll be sitting in the pews with everyone else again, right where I started. But knowing that we are a stronger board, we're a better board. And I thank everyone here. Let's do this. I will take some questions first, and then we are going to do the nomination. We'll panel the nominations committee. Are there any, all my items were for informational purposes. Are there any questions? I'm sorry? Okay, we have Francisco Leopold. Any other members have a question? Okay, Fran, you have the floor.
Yes, I'm just appealing to each one of you sitting here tonight, and as well as your neighbors and family. This forum and any other forum for the shelter, make it top priority to be there and support. The reason why I'm saying so, I'm the president for Left Block Association. I am between Lefferts, I have two blocks, Lefferts, Rogers to Washington. 2016-17, we never knew there was a shelter on Bedford Avenue between Lefferts and Sterling. Never knew there was a shelter until somebody brought it to my attention. You know how and why? Because the lady was walking with her two children. She had one in the stroller and a little one walking behind her. And when she was attending to the one in the stroller, a man from the shelter was calling the other one behind her and trying to pull the child to her. And this woman ran out of her house and cursed at him, right? We never knew. You know why we never knew? Because the state placed that shelter in our community and never told us anything. And then one of the members from the Block Association went online and then put up the name, and there, in that particular house, I think it was a doctor's office, right? And then they took it over, turned it into a men's shelter, and placed them in the community and said nothing, absolutely nothing to us. And then I keep getting calls all the way from across by Kings County Hospital, right? And just the same thing that Alicia said. Over by Kings County Hospital, people are calling me, what can you do, Fran? And I have to call the 67 precinct to send them over there because those, as the chair said, we want to help people. We want persons to have a place to stay, but they don't have any, some of them have no respect to the community. And they come and then they do their number two right in your area by your door. They urinate right by your door. They eat trash and everything right by your door. And if you say anything, they want to beat you, right? So at the end of the day, this is our community. And I'm just asking each one of you, let's come together and fight this fight because enough is enough. We have to do something about it.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, usually I drag people onto the nominations committee, but this year we're going to try it different. We're going to let people volunteer. All right, at this time, so the nominations committee, again, so they're going to meet twice, once or twice to do the canvas, and then they'll probably meet one more time after that to set up the, do the logistics for the elections when we're ready. All right, so at this time, are there any members of the board who would like to be placed on the nominations committee? All right, so, okay, Fran? All right, we have Francisco Leo. We have Fran. Okay. Ms. Westfall, I see you as well. That's two. Do I have anyone else? Okay, Capicello. Debbie, you want to do this for old time's sake? We got one. Debbie Timothy? All right, we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4. Does anyone else wish to serve on the committee? This is a great opportunity. Okay. All right, 5 or 7. I need one more. Okay, nope, yeah. May 13th will be the first, and then I think they schedule after that. Okay. Ms. Benjamin, I did see your hand. Okay. Yes, a lot of Benjamin. That's 5. 1, 2. Okay, so we have Francisca, we have Ms. Westerdahl, we have Kat, we have Debbie Timothy, we have Solange Benjamin. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are there 2 more people who want to join? All right, so with that, we are going to close on those 5 names. All right, so we're going to close on those 5 names. So we have Francisca Leopold, we have Teresa Westerdahl, Kat Pacello, Debbie Timothy, and Solange Benjamin. I thank all of you for jumping in to serve. First meeting is scheduled for May 13th. I'll be there as well, just in terms, to provide guidance and if there's any assistance I need to provide as well. All right. Okay, so with that, we are now going to move on to the voting session. All right. See me now, we can do this the easy way or? All right. We're going to go through this, okay? 4 voting items for this evening. I'm going to ask. We have 3 SLA applications and we have the co-naming application. I would ask, if you have questions, please make sure they are short and to the point. If you have comments, please keep them short. In the essence of time, we're going to keep them to 1 minute for your questions, and you can do a second round. So after that, after everyone is gone, if you wish to do another minute, you can have that as well. Are we clear? Okay. So first item is going to be a street co-naming. I'll pass it to the Transportation Committee Chair.
All right, good evening, folks. When the committee heard, all right, this should be a little better now. When the committee heard this application, we overall were very pleased by how thorough they were, how they really fleshed out Edith Mott Young's life, founding the authority in. Okay. Okay, I was saying, we heard a very detailed account of the life of Edith Mott Young, and we generally unanimously voted to support the street co-naming, along with the other elected officials who also supported this. And I mean, today on the floor now is a recommendation to approve the co-naming as requested.
All right, so it was approved, it was recommended by the Transportation Committee, forwarded by the Executive Committee. We do not require a motion on the floor. At this time, are there any questions, comments with regards to the application? I do want to just make one comment. Is there anybody else who wishes to make a comment? Okay, seeing none, I just have one statement I want to make very quickly. I just wanted to say that one of the honors of being the chair of a board of this diversity is the fact that, I've been able to come to a lot of these, and I have seen that we have had giants who walked among us, who lived in our communities. To say that we have the founder of an international renowned organization such as Delta Sigma Theta, who lives right here in Brooklyn, was one of us, walked our street, is significant. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity for me to go out. Just to be able to say we can honor another one of ours as another person who lived in CB9. So I thank the ladies for bringing this to our attention and for pushing this. and wish you best of luck in your application. At this time, we're going to call the question. Is there any objection to adopting the motion to approve the co-naming application by common consent? Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, Madam Secretary, please note for the record, the recommendation for CB9 is to forward this to the City Council for approval. Okay, at this time, we're going to go into the SLA applications. So we considered 3 applications that were forwarded this evening. So the first application that is going to be before the board is for ALYR Consulting. Again, located at 641 Rutland Road, corner of Albany Avenue. This is for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. And the recommendation is for CB9 to send a letter of no objection for ALY Consulting at the said name and address for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license with agreed upon stipulation with applicant to close no later than 12 midnight on Sundays. All of the conditions apply. All right, at this time, we will take questions. Hold on one second, we'll take a speaker. Suki, I do see you. Mr. Herbert, I see you as well. Ms. Westerdahl, I see you. Kat, I have you as well. Okay, are there any other members? I'm sorry. I see you as well. Are there any other members who have questions? We're going to close the first round on Ms. Benjamin. All right, Suki, and I remind all the members, please keep your questions, comments to 1 minute for this round, and you will have a second opportunity if you have one to follow up.
So I just wanted to clarify if this is a catering hall or a full-time restaurant, because I'm wondering how often you're going to be open all day on a Sunday, because it looks like it's right next door to the church. And I realize it's around the corner, so the SLA 200-foot rule doesn't necessarily apply, but from a community perspective, just, you know.
Is the catering, Abby still here? And it's a catering facility, correct? The catering hall. Okay, thank you. Mr. Herbert.
Thank you, Chair. So my question, I was not here at the safety meeting. I was going to attend, but I couldn't. But there was some conversation about using buses in order to bring patrons there. I was wondering where the buses are going to be stored.
Well, let me respond first on behalf of the committee, and then Ms. Legend, if there's any other clarification or if I totally get it wrong. The buses are for drop-off only. So in front of the catering hall, what they're doing is they're encouraging everyone to take buses. If they're not encouraging cars to come. The buses will come, drop off, leave and stage somewhere else, and then for pickup, come back, pick up their the resident and they'll bring to wherever that's been staged. Is that correct? Okay. That is the plan for that.
We don't know where they're going to stage, though.
I don't know.
Okay. I just wanted to be real quick. Sure. So I understand that there's going to be some outdoor. No outdoor? Okay, that's what was on the.
Okay. Ms. Westerdahl.
Yeah, I listened to the Zoom and read the application and just have some questions. One is it's associated with a restaurant on Empire and Rogers, and that restaurant is closed down, unfortunately. And I just wondered what that was, and I guess my thing for all of us is we want to make sure that our neighbors aren't disturbed. If you have it down so the music is cool and nobody's complaining, fine. But I'm wondering, it's just gonna be on Sundays? It's a little confusing, honestly, like what's going on there. So I'd just like some detail about that, what's happening.
It's a catering hall, so it operates 7 days a week, and they're closed on Fridays and Saturdays. And again, Mr. Lynch, just let me know when I run off the rails. Closed on Fridays and Saturdays.
So Sunday through Thursday, there could be a lot of events,
They could be, or they might not be, because, depends on season and
whatever they want to do, basically.
it's not whatever they want to do.
Well,
we do
whatever
is
they want to do within the law.
within the law. We specifically asked the question with regards to noise mitigation, and the response was, there are several levels of doors you have to get to before you get to the actual hall itself. So they were saying that was part of the noise mitigation strategy.
Okay, so what's Empire, what does it do with Empire? Why isn't that restaurant, what's to do with the Empire Rogers Restaurant, Grok? It said that
Mr.
on it.
Leshes, do you have any?
Said that on
knowledge?
the application.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I thought it was associated the license. That restaurant should reopen, by the way.
Okay, thank you. If you give the microphone to Chad. Chad, you have the floor.
No, I was just looking for clarification on the number of seats, and it's stated that it's closed Friday and Saturday. The application still shows hours for Saturday, so the majority of these events that are coming into the venue space is gonna be 3 to midnight, Sunday to Thursday. 256, okay.
You did, what was the clarification you needed again?
As well as Friday, Saturday, and Saturday.
I believe it's Sunday to Thursday, because I think we broke it up. Yeah, Sunday to Thursday with that midnight. I'm sorry? 200 seats. Okay. All right, Ms. Benjamin, please.
So I have a couple of questions. Thank you for clarifying the seats. 200 folks is a lot of people with no security. Is there going to be an option that when someone rents the hall, that they have to, depending, because that's not on here. Is there going to be an option, right, when someone rents that hall, that they must have security? Because 200 people with no security and alcohol is kind of not okay. Well, because what the application says no security. Yeah, but your application says it says no security. Okay. Okay, so and another question that I have is, it seems like you guys didn't get any buy-in from the neighbors. Well, it doesn't say it on the application.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not sure from whom, and I haven't seen the documentation, but on here it says no. On the application, it says no.
Actually,
You
I think that
haven't
was a
received any
conversation that we had
buy-in.
as well. So the signatures were taken and they were provided to the district office. Mia, is that correct? You have the signatures on file?
In order to be added to any agenda, signatures of support have to be submitted to the district office. So if you
Okay.
are here, signatures of support have been.
All right. So that is one of part of one of the checks. There need to be signatures that are provided as part of the application. So those are on file.
Okay, I think that's it. And as far as like, okay, I know the hours are 3 to 12, and it's live music, right? It's all the music. What are you guys gonna do to like pacify any neighbors? Because we live in a community that has, nurses, they work different hours. So that's a lot of hours playing live music.
Hold on, Mr. Lections, you're gonna bring the mic.
It depends on the booking. That's number one. Number two, there are 3 layers. There's soundproofing on the interior walls, the exterior walls. So it's been operating there before we came in for about 1.5 years, and they had no complaints from neighbors. You can check 311. There's been no complaints in terms of noise on that specific space.
Okay, thank you.
We're coming in now, but the owner, the developer of the building has been renting it out for about 1.5 years.
Okay. All right, so that completes round one. Are there any members who have follow-up questions? We will do a second round. Any members who have any other questions? Ms. Timothy, we'll see you. Who else? Any other members have any questions? All right, we're gonna close the second round on Ms. Timothy. Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. A little louder.
I just have a question pertaining to the space. Are you gonna be renting it to other people that may want? Okay, okay, and in terms of, I know that your guests are gonna be transported, how is it gonna work the other way around if you rent it out? Uh-huh. Okay, good, that's my question.
That concludes, debate. We are now going to call the question. So the motion on the floor was to recommend, letter of no objection with the stipulations that we mentioned before. All right, Madam Secretary, please call the roll for this one. Listen up for your names. The faster we do this, we'll be able to establish, the quorum and who's here, and we can go through the rest of the votes quickly.
Abdul Mahabir,
Well, yes or no?
yes. Thank you. Nicholas Amanar, Fred Baptiste.
Yes.
Zola Benjamin. No. Cat Botticello. Joel Carr. Suki Chow. Kendall Christensen.
Yes.
Steve Cohen. Max Davidson. Lisa Etienne. Madame Du Bois. Madame Du Bois. Shauna Hartley. Rod Herbert. Joe Johnson. Bonnie Joseph. Manuel Agote. Francisco Leopold. Andrew Magnus. Letwin Movina. Letwin. Marcia Maxwell. Vandermeers. Latimuchin. Eden Norville. Isaiah Pickle. Vanessa. Felice Robertson. Minnie Rosenberger. Bakari Tandia. Abigail Tim. Abby Timothy. Anna Watson Lord. Yes. Don Welters. Teresa Westerdahl. Joycelyn Williams. Steve Zelter.
Were there any members who did not hear their voice or their name called? Did not cast the vote? Okay, Secretary's counting the vote for it now. We're halfway through. All right, so let's just keep doing it this way. Concise, we're gonna do it again. 2 1-minute rounds. So keep your questions, comments to 1 minute, and then we'll do a second round if necessary, then we're gonna call a question and vote. We're halfway through, we're almost done. All right, and please note for the next rounds, we are not going to call the roll again. We are just going to call for aye, the yeas and nays, and we will ask for names for no votes and abstentions for the record.
The count 23 yes, 4 abstains. And 4 noes.
Repeat that again. That's
23.
23, yes.
4 abstains and 4 noes.
4 abstentions, 4 noes. All right, here, majority, the motion passes. The recommendation for the letter of no objection is going to go forward to the SLA. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to go now to item B, which is Queen of Scots LLC doing business as Fiona. Fiona's located on 562 Flatbush Avenue, corner of Beacon Place, and this is for change of operation to include live music. The recommendation before the board is for CB9 to send a letter of no objection for Queen of Scots at said name address for the change of operation to live music with agreed upon stipulation to keep windows closed during live music events. Okay, so it was approved by the committee. It's approved by the executive committee to come before the board. At this time, we will take the speakers list for those who wish to ask questions or give comments. Who wishes to speak on this motion? Call for a second time. Anyone wish to speak on the motion? Final call, we're going to close on this. Anyone wishes to speak on the motion? Hearing none, we're going to call the question. All those members of the board who wish to vote yes in favor of the recommendation, please say aye. Aye. All those members of the board who wish to vote no, please state your name for the record. Please note Ms. Cohen for as a no. Anyone else wish to vote no? Call for a second time. Anyone else wish to vote no? One no vote. Anyone wishes to abstain, please state your name for the record. Call for a second time. Anyone wish to abstain from the vote, please state your name for the record. Okay, hearing one no vote, no abstentions, we have a majority vote of the board. The motion passes. Madam Secretary, please note for the record. Okay, we are now at item C, Fugue State LLC, located at 453-455 Rogers Avenue, corner of Lincoln Road. This is for new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license and temporary retail permit. The recommendation from the committee was for CB9 to send a letter of no objection for Fugue State at said name address for new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license and temporary retail permit with agreed upon stipulation with applicant to amend closing hours to 12:30 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. That is the motion on the floor before the board. The floor is now open for debate. Who wishes to speak? Suki, we have you. Any members of the board wish to speak on the motion?
I just want to state for the record that we were not agreeing to that. I just want to state for the record that we were not agreeing to that 12 period closing. We reached out to the board's office to say that we, after thinking about it and further consideration, we weren't willing to accept that 12:30 closing during the week, and we would want to do 2 a.m. across the board. That's what we had gone up there to say.
Hi there. Yes, go ahead. So after the last meeting, we just wanted to change that because to the original. The original hours that we applied for. There are times when there are holidays or whatever where it makes closing at 12:30. And we need the flexibility to be able to like operate the business and stay in business. So I don't know. I'll just say a little bit about myself. Been in the community for 30 years. I live on Lincoln Road, across from the space. My kids went to school or preschool at Maple Street School. My friends and family live in the neighborhood. We've collected a lot of signatures. Everyone from around lives right there on Lincoln Road or Rogers. Everyone's very excited. I used to operate Flatbush Farm, which maybe you know. That closed about 10 years ago. And we had the same operating hours that I requested. And currently operate Sisters, which is in Clinton Hill, which has the same hours that I've requested. We've never, in over 20 years, had any issues. Sorry. Living in Lefferts on Lincoln, I know actually we won't be open till 2. It's not that much business, but for just the ease of business, not having to worry about, having said we'll close at 12:30 and like trying to get people out or whatever, it's just much easier. 2 o'clock. The majority of time, the whole or my normal business operates from 11 to 2. Except for, we close when we don't have customers. So, I just wanted to say that.
Okay. All right. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. The original motion contemplated that they agreed with the stipulation. Is there any objection at this time to withdrawing the motion to approve no objection with the stipulation? Is there any objection to that? Is there any objection to withdrawing this recommendation? This is the motion on the floor. So is there any objection to withdrawing that from the board? So in other words, we're gonna take that off the table. They're going forward with their original application. So what I'm saying is, let's dispose of this. Is there any objection to removing this motion from the floor? We will replace it with their original application and the board will vote it up or down. Are we clear? Hold on a second, hold on.
But you're stating that are we moving it from 2, which is what they want to move to, or are we moving it from 12:30, which is what I said?
They want to go back to their original application. Correct. So what I'm saying is, for us, we had voted on, the committee had voted on that 12:30 piece.
So hold on, and from what we're being told, it's 2 a.m. Monday through Sunday, all days that are open, 2 a.m. to continue.
Yes. Hold on. Well, what I'm saying is germane to the motion on the floor. Okay, because part of the problem is. Understood. What I'm saying is this. The question you may have, we are probably going to replace this motion.
It is a germane question. So my
Okay.
question to the team is okay, so if I want to order the steak and the salmon and I come in at 1, can I order the food? Because I sometimes like to keep it and the menu looks great. Most bars, even if they're open until 2, they're closing at 10, 11. So it's hard to find a place to eat. So,
Hold on. I have to rule. I'm going to rule that out of order because the question is not germane to the motion on the floor. You're asking about a 1 o'clock dinner when the motion is for 12:30 for most of those days. Understood. But the point being, your question is contemplating something that's not in the motion. What I'm trying to do here, we can get this done quickly. Dispatch the motion, put another motion on the floor, and you can absolutely ask. Okay, so is there any objection to removing this motion from the floor? Okay. There is one objection. There is one objection. Okay, all right, so listen, so let's do it. So we're gonna vote on this. We're gonna vote on this to remove the vote. All those members of the board who are in favor of moving this motion, withdrawing the motion, please say aye. Understood. I need everyone to be clear. All members of the board who wish to remove the motion from consideration, please say aye. Those members of the board who wish to keep it there, vote no, please. If you want to keep this motion on the floor, we vote on this, say no. Okay, I hear two. No, most of the board said yes. Are those who wish to abstain? Which members wish to abstain on the motion? Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Okay, yes. This is to withdraw the motion that is currently there. The applicant, hold on. Let's go through this very quickly. I'm gonna do this in 77 seconds. The motion that is currently on the agenda was for 12:30 because that's what was agreed upon at the Public Safety Committee meeting. The applicant, correct. The applicant is saying they do not. Okay, order of the day. Order of the day. I'm stating it, but everyone wants to let me finish. Okay, the motion, everyone, make sure we're clear. The current motion on the floor is for 12:30, closing from Sunday to Thursday. The applicant, and that's what was agreed on and voted on at the Public Safety Committee meeting. The applicant is stating they do not wish to stick to that. They want to revert. Well, I'm not gonna say anything honoring. They wish to. Okay, order of the day. Order of the day. We need everyone to please respect the rules. Members of the board only. Order of the day. Order of the day. Ms. Cohen, let me finish. Thank you. That was what was voted by the committee, and that's what's before the board today. The applicant wants to change that. So with that, it doesn't make sense to debate a motion they don't want. So I'm saying is, remove this motion and replace it. Let them put their original application on the floor. The board can debate it and vote, up or down. Yes, what is the question?
They originally wanted it till 2, and we negotiated with them to 12:30 because we told them it was a residential area.
Correct.
And every night till 12:30 wasn't fair to the neighbors. I mean, every night till 2, excuse me, my bad. So after much negotiation, they finally agreed to 12. We wanted 12, they wanted 1, and we said 12:30. Came to the middle ground, we said, we'll agree to 12:30. This is what we said. Now they're coming and saying we're going back to what we wanted in the very beginning.
Correct.
We're not agreeing to the negotiations. Forget about 12:30. We want the 2, like we said in the very beginning. That's what we want from the full week at 2 a.m. every night.
Correct. That is what is happening. So what we are doing is all right. Here's what we're gonna do. At this time, I will entertain a motion to amend the recommendation to the applicant's stated time for 2 a.m. This way, once that is adopted, we will vote on their application up or down. Are we clear? Do I have a motion to amend? Moved by Isaiah Picou. Do I have a second? Rod Herbert. It's been moved, seconded. Any other discussion? Just to make sure the board understands, this is going to change this motion to their original application. Are we clear? All right. Is there any objection to the amendment? Hearing none. The motion is amended. We are now going to be considering their original application where their close time requested was 2 a.m. Are we clear? Discussion. We will take a speakers list. Mino, I see you as well. Any other questions? 1 second, hold on. Well, actually, it's board members at this time. It is board members at this time, so we'll take questions. If there's any clarifications, we'll give you. Any other board members have any questions? Ms. Westervelt, we'll see. Any other questions from the board? This is the first round, 1 minute, and we can do a second round, but after that, we're moving on. Okay, so I see Mina and I see Ms. Westerdahl. Go ahead, Mina.
I would like to say that I'm in support of the 2 a.m. for the reason, number one, they live in the neighborhood. We keep complaining that people are coming into the neighborhood and doing this, that, and the other. And when we have people who are a part of our community, who are opening up businesses in our community, we're going to complain and now push them out of the community. That does not make sense. Number two, 12:30, if you have a holiday on a Monday and you're closing at 12:30, it makes no sense. Financially, fiscally, anything. This is business. This is the reason why people are in business, is to make money. That stays in the community if they're in the community. That's it. Thank you. Holidays, remember holidays, people. We do have Monday holidays.
I just want to know if the neighbors that all signed on to the application, if they signed on for the 12:30 or they signed on for 2 a.m. And if there is a problem with the neighbors complaining about the later time, if you will close earlier, if the neighbors nearby complain about the late hour, if you will close, yes or no?
Allison.
It's
No microphone,
it's the
ma'am.
original application. They wouldn't have had any of the negotiations that you had before.
Okay, so if the neighbors complain, will they close earlier?
Their license will say that they're allowed to close by 2 a.m. Did you wish any clarification, or is that correct?
I just wanted to clarify that all the support that we got, the petition signatures,
It was for 2 a.m., so that's confirmed.
and on those petition signatures, we also have additional ones that we brought for this meeting. It's on that block or in the building. So it is the people that are directly impacted that are supporting that.
All right, that concludes round one. We have round two. Anybody who wishes to ask a question? Okay, I have a comment. I'm going to put my name on the list. I'm now going to turn the chair over for this vote to.
I believe that you abstained at this. My question is, if you are going to place a comment here, will you also be voting? I ask because at the initial SLA meeting, you abstained from what I believe, correct? So will you be applying a vote and or abstaining this evening? If you did decide to comment.
I'm going to relinquish the chair to the first vice chair, and I will abstain. I can abstain.
Thank you.
I will abstain. So let me do this. Well, first, are there any other members of the board who wish to speak? Okay. So please give Ms. Benjamin. Okay, last call. We're going to close on myself and Ms. Benjamin.
So just to piggyback, I agree that this is someone in our community. They actually have had restaurants in our community for decades. I don't know, I've been to Sisters. It's a pretty nice space. I've never ever had an issue there. I think if we're going to make certain decisions, we should do it across the board, right? This is a residential area everywhere. There's houses everywhere. There's nothing here that's not residential. But it's about being respectful to our community, and to our neighbors. And if you have already a history of being inclusive, which is actually an issue in Crown Heights, why wouldn't we welcome that?
All right, I'm going to take the floor for 1 minute, and then I'm going to relinquish the chair to the first vice chair. I want to be very clear about to characterize the conversations. we, at the Public Safety Committee meeting, we don't do it to be jerks or to be rough or to say we want to try and prevent anybody. The conversations we had are typical of all the conversations we've had, because the balancing act we've had to perform as a Public Safety Committee and as a board is to be fair, to make sure we're giving businesses an opportunity, but also understanding that you have neighbors who live on top of you, besides you, and all around. And they need the opportunity to put their kids to bed and to get up early in the morning and everything as well. I think that the board has been fairly consistent around the times, and I want to characterize the conversation was one where we were trying to negotiate with them. As a matter of fact, the 2 a.m. was a negotiation because we said, you know what? There is another establishment that is not too far that has similar hours that were closer to that. So we said, okay, well, listen, you know what? That was an application that started years ago before we really went down that track. We didn't want to penalize them. So we said, okay, you can have the 2 a.m. on the Saturday, the Friday and Saturday, I forget the days. Pardon me if I got it wrong. But we wanted some concession on that weekday period because we said much later than that is probably gonna be intrusive to the neighbors. Again, I wanted to make sure, I think the path that we've been trying to do as a board is that we're consistent and that we're taking into account all of these aspects. We want to make sure that people can do what they need to do, that they have, they can have a business, that they can do it. Alcohol is here, no matter how you feel about it, yes. But by the same point, we do have neighbors who live here, who raise families as well, and there's a quality of life that we want to make sure we're consistent with across the board. So that is the reason why we had voted for that, and that was why we came to the agreement we came to. But at this point, that is the reason why we are going to say, the board has every right to say, you can do this, but I think it sets a bad precedent if all of a sudden, now we're giving 2 a.m.s away, because guess what? Now the expectation is you're always giving 2 a.m.s away. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Secretary, please note me as abstaining from the vote.
All right. Now that we have no speakers left, it's time to call a question. Voice vote on this application as amended for 2 a.m. as they initially requested. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please state your name for the record.
Hold on a minute. Start from the beginning.
Okay, let's do a roll call instead. Okay, let's do a roll call.
Adu? We can't talk, I can't hear. Nicholas Almanar? Right, abstain. Solan Benjamin? Solan? Catherine Botticello? Joanna Carr? Suki Chow? Kendall Christensen?
Yes.
Eve Coy? Eve Coy? I can't hear. Okay. Bats Davidson?
Yes.
Lisa Etienne? Shauna Hartley? Rod Herbert? Drew Johnson? Oh, no, he's not here. Volney Joseph? Mina Legote? Francisco Leopold? Andrew Magnus? Letwin Mabina? Marcia Maslow? Vanna Mears? Lati Mucci? Ethan Norville? Maya Pickle? Vanessa? Felice Robertson? Felice Robertson? Benny Rosenberger? Bakari Tandia? Abigail Tim? Debbie Timothy? Linda Watson Lord, yes. Don Walters?
Yes.
Teresa Westerdahl? Jocelyn Williams? Steve Zelter?
All right, one moment, we're gonna call the tally and then we're getting ready to, that's the last item of business that we're gonna adjourn.
The vote, please. 23 yes, 2 abstain, 9 no. 23, the vote carries.
23 yes. How many noes? 9 noes and 2 abstentions. All right, the motion carries. Letter of no objection will go for the application. We have completed the agenda. We stand adjourned. Madam Secretary, please note the time. 9:54.